Hello everyone, TarantulaDan here. I hope you're doing well today. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Gex, my leopard gecko. This video will be purely about him. I will not be showing any of my other animals off in this video. So if you'd like to see anything else I have, please feel free to check out my video library. The reason that I'm going to be doing this video on Gex is because he is very special to me, and sometimes he will appear in the odd video, and I always say that I don't do enough videos of him and that I should do more. And so I figured I would do a video just about him to tell you all about the history of Gex and show you how he's doing, and also show you how I care for him in his old age, which although is kind of sad, at the same time it is something that I have to do to obviously make sure that he's fed and watered, and also it might maybe come in use to some of you that keep leopard geckos should they get quite old and the sort of health, same sort of kind of health as him, then you may find this video useful. Before I begin this video, I want to show you all something. I actually just had this come today. This is a new piece of merchandise that I designed using, of course, Gex. And as he's my oldest animal, the one that I've had the longest, I figured I should definitely get something to, something of him. So this is, by the way, from Redbubble. You can see the bag, which, by the way, that the bag is 100% recyclable, which is really good. There's a Redbubble card on the inside. It says here about cold wash only. Bit of information about washing it. You also get a Redbubble sticker, which I probably have quite a few of these. And the design itself actually looks really awesome. And has, of course, Gex on the front. And yeah, this is just like a random photo that I took of him. Really liked it and had it printed onto a t-shirt. And apart from being a little bit creased because of it being in, obviously, package, it's really good. So this t-shirt is available on my Redbubble. Links to that can be found in the description of this video. And this is a medium and it fits me perfectly. So yeah. Really like that. If I just drop the camera down a touch, you might be able to have a better look at it. But yeah, really cool t-shirt. Nice to have something sort of Gex, and yeah, really special. So if you're new to my channel and you don't know about Gex, I'm going to tell you briefly about him, and then we're going to get him out. I'm going to show you how he is and show you how I'm caring for him. So as I said, I've had Gex now for nearly 20 years. He is my oldest pet that I've had. Originally I actually wanted a tokay gecko, which are those really wonderful brightly coloured chunky geckos that unfortunately have a really bad temper, basically. They're not very friendly, and I really wanted one. I remember the gentleman at the pet shop actually took one out and it was barking and it had its mouth open and was hissing, and my mum said to me, you're not having that, not a chance. So away that went. And the gentleman said, we do have this leopard gecko, and I remember I said, oh, I'd really like that. And to be fair, looking back, I didn't know anything about leopard geckos. It was one of those sort of things where I had it and I didn't really know about how to care for it, and neither did my mum. And I remember my mum saying, well, if you buy it, you've got to look after it, you've got to clean it out, you've got to feed it, and you'll probably get bored of it in no time, and the usual things that parents will say, and also they are usually very correct in saying that. But I really wanted this gecko. I've always loved exotic animals. I was a kind of child, I would collect bugs and things in like biscuit tins in my garden when I was a child. When I went to France for the first time, I remember picking up a lizard and the body fell off, and it was my first experience of the detachment of the body and the tail, and I was an absolute mess. It horrified me, and I was actually a little bit creeped out by lizards for some time afterwards. I was very young then, and of course I got Gex when I was about 10 years old, and my mum always said to me, you'll get bored of it in no time, and now look at me. So he was the first exotic pet that I ever had. He was probably about this big when I had him. He was only a teeny tiny little guy, and I don't have any pictures or any footage of him when he was young. But the original tank that I had him in, I'll just turn this, you can see this up here. This is the original tank that I had him in. I don't have anything in it now, it is completely empty. but I keep it because it was the tank that, you know, like I said, that I had him in, so it's sort of special for that reason. I had him. Like I said, I didn't know anything about them, so I had a couple of very basic books on lizard care, and I loved it, you know, and I tried to read up as much about not only leopard geckos but other lizards in general, and that really did sort of get me hooked into reptiles and exotic animals as a whole. I always used to love visiting my local pet shop, which is a place called Presswood Pet Zone, which is, I guess it would be sort of Starbridge, class of Starbridge, Warheath probably, Staunton maybe, but yeah, Presswood Pet Zone in the West Midlands is my local pet shop, and that's where I had it from. I used to go in there to get the little tubs of crickets for, you know, for food, and I'd also have a look around at the other animals there as well. And like I said, I've never got bored of him. I've always really enjoyed owning him. Obviously from that I've gone into obviously more things, mostly sort of focusing on invertebrates, and he's always been the kind of pet that I've just enjoyed for myself. Now, I'm not going to do a care video. This isn't what this is. This is just me talking about him and my experiences of, you know, of him, I guess. Like I say, he was very small when I had him. He has travelled, been with me through. I'm now 30 years old. Yeah, well, in March I'll be 30. So I've had him for 2/3 of my life, and he's been with me through every sort of big life event that I can remember, pretty much. I remember I always used to take him to my friend's house or my family's house. If I went out, I used to carry him with me in like a little box. Obviously, my mom, who always said that I get bored of exotic animals and him, obviously my mom died when I was 14 years old, and so he is the last thing that I actually have of my mom, which is kind of sad in, you know, in today's world where people have photos and videos of everything. I only have one picture of my mom, which I don't even display anywhere, and I have him, and that's it. I don't have anything else of my mom, so he's very special to me in that sense that he's like the only thing that I have of my mom that she has actually kind of touched, if that makes sense. And yeah, when I was younger and we ended up going into care and things, he was always my concern about what would happen with him, and I obviously came to live with my nan when I was 15 years old, and he came with me, and obviously through just having him and over the years having more and more sort of developments in this room where I first moved into, my bed used to be where Eunice tank is. It's gone from just one little gecko to obviously everything that I've got now and things. He's just been great. Every person that's ever been into my house or into, you know, my room for the animals, everyone has held him. All of my friends, all of my family, people who've just sort of came, you know, if my family say, oh yeah, go and check out Dan's animals, you know, go upstairs and show them. And so I bring people up here and I show them animals, and yeah, he's absolutely wonderful. He's probably the best example of a leopard gecko that I could personally, you know, that I could sort of personally sort of portray to people, if that makes sense. He doesn't bite, he's super friendly, he has been an absolute pleasure, and as you will see shortly, his health sadly is deteriorating. He can't feed by himself, he can't drink by himself, and so I have to physically feed him, as you'll see, which is a shame. And I'm not really sure, I know this probably sounds quite morbid, I'm not actually sure what to do with him. I spoke to a few people. Some people have said to me, you know, look, he's still eating, he's still, you know, trying to sort of get on, so you should keep him alive and keep doing what you're doing. At the same time, other people might say, well, actually he's not in the best standard of life, so you should probably have him put down. That's very, very difficult, like I say, because considering I've had him for, you know, 2/3 of my life, and he's been with me through, you know, everything, you know, every person I've ever met who's been a good friend, who's ever been here, has had an interaction with him, and you know, he's been a great sort of a step up for people that don't even like spiders and they don't like creepy crawlies or exotic animals. They think that they're slimy. I say no, you know, you know, come and hold gecks, and they touch him and stroke him and they handle him, and he's like, for some people, for a lot of people that come to my house, he is the first sort of exotic animal that they ever sort of handle. And then from that, within like half an hour, people handling a scorpion or a tarantula, obviously very safely. So he's been great for that. I do actually have another leopard gecko, which I will sort of show you her very briefly, but I won't get her out. She's actually watching me right now. Very curious little lizard. I rescued her. Unfortunately, she's not the most friendly, which is a shame because she's adorable. But yeah, I obviously do have the two geckos, and she's still watching me now, bless her. So yeah, gecks, they're wonderful animals. I very often get messages from people asking me, obviously, which spiders I recommend, but especially any video when I have any of the reptiles featured, people always say to me, what reptile do you recommend to beginners? And they say, do you recommend iguanas? And I say no, because they need big tanks, they need lots of care, lots of attention, and obviously the dietary needs and things like that. Of course, you cannot go wrong with a leopard gecko. Now, I'm not saying this, I don't want people to go out and buy leopard geckos for themselves or for their children, just because of me doing this video. That's not what I want. But if you are someone that has an interest in exotic animals and you are thinking about which animal, which reptile to get, still do your research. Like I say, they are long lived. I believe in captivity they usually live for 7 to 10 years. So 20 years is really, really good, but they are long lived. And if you have a child that may get bored of of the animals, it's like a dog. Although it's not regulated as much, they always say you don't buy a dog is not for Christmas, basically. It's the same with any animal, whether it's a lizard or stick insect or a bird of prey or fish. I think that once you buy an animal, really, you should keep it for the duration of that animal's life. The only exception to that rule that I would personally apply is when you have invertebrates and you have mature males, then obviously you send them off for breeding. But they usually die within like a year of maturing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Reptiles will live for a long time and they do need a lot of attention, but they are wonderful, wonderful animals. So yeah, a bit of a talk on gecks. Like I say, wonderful example of a leopard gecko. He does bite every now and again. He never used to. It's not through temperament. It's when he goes for his food, sometimes he will catch my fingers. But I don't mind that. I don't like tongue feeding him. I've always fed him by hand. He's never attacked me or bit me ever. And so even now that he sort of can't control his head properly, I will still continue to feed him by hand. And I think he's fine with that. So we're going to take a look at Gex, and I'll show you how I came for him. So here he is. I've just moved the log to get him out, and you can see he's alert. He looks like he's coming out. He knows there's going to be some food, which is awesome, absolutely awesome. A lot of people, by the way, will say to me about using substrate as bedding and how it's really, really bad. But you know what? I've had him for that long now. I think he's fine. So yeah, you can see here he is. Oops. He's always been sort of trained. If I put my hand on the side here like this, he will usually come out and walk onto my hand, which is what has always been really, really nice. Now he's a bit more hesitant, but you can see he's moving his head, so he's looking for some food. And so I'm going to get some food and I'm going to show you how I feed him. Always good to see. I always like it when he's like this. Hey, don't crawl out, mate. So of course his food is dusted with calcium, which is what I do for all of my animals. Now usually I would just put them in there and he would simply hunt them. Then I went to using this bowl here. I'm going to put one in just to sort of show you how he reacts to this. So here you go. You see it? Yeah, I'll drop it in there. I will use my tweezers for this just because come on. There you go. Oops, daisy. Didn't mean to drop that, sorry. So you can see although he wants it, he's unable to get it. And it's very sad to see him like this. Holding it still, of course. Come on. Oh, nearly. There we go. Actually just tore that in half. Look at that. Nope. Okay, no, I can just get it. So you can see how difficult that is for him, which I don't like that. I don't think it's fair on him to be struggling. So this is how I actually feed him. I do this every single day, and he is used to it. He's fine with it, so there's no need to worry. So of course, very carefully take him out. So you can see him here on my hand. He is fine. He's got a grip. He's having a look around and things, but you can see he's still doing this bit of a wobble, which he does from time to time, and it's a real shame to see that kind of movement and the lack of control that he has over himself now. And that's where the problem is with the feeding and drinking, is that he is completely unable to control where his head is facing. But other than that, I don't think he's in any pain. He just sort of struggles to get food, don't you? I'm going to try not to get emotional in this video. I think the last time that I showed him off, I got very upset. But it is very sad to see him like this. So you can see how he is, and he was actually always, you know, great for handling. Obviously now he's a bit old. I don't like to bother him so much. You can see this kind of movement. It's very, you know, you can see he's obviously very sort of confused. He's not great in himself, and I don't actually like taking him out of the tank too often anymore. I kind of figure that he is comfortable in there. So I'm going to very quickly show you how it is that I feed him, which hopefully none of you will ever have to do this, but this is what I'm doing, and I would definitely appreciate your comments below this video as to what you think about this. Other than that, he's awesome. Look at him. Eh? Never ever been aggressive, this guy. Okay, so this is how I feed him. I get him out of the enclosure, of course. I have to very carefully place my hand on his head so that he's down, and there you go. And you'll take it. There you go. There you go, very carefully. Oh, chill, you got it. And the boy. And I do this, I'm not hurting him, I'm not trying to cause him any sort of discomfort, but this is the only, for me, this is the easiest way to sort of get the food into him. I always make sure you see if he's interested, which he is. So again, hold his head down. There we go. And he's got it. And I actually do the same for this with watering. I have to very carefully place my hand on his head, put a syringe into his mouth, and very, very slowly sort of allow the water to leave it. Head down. There we go. And you can see he's not he's not hurt. I wouldn't dream of hurting this guy. Ready? Another one. Let's see if you can get that one. Nope, you got it. Good job, dude. Okay, kicks. Nope, over it. Come on. Careful. No, I said the last one, but another one. Hey. So yeah, this is just a very quick video just to sort of show you Gex. He is obviously amazing, but obviously his health is, you can see he's not right. He hasn't been for quite a while, to be fair, but you know, he is the one that started all this off, so I have him to thank for it. Don't, dude. I think if he was a bit better in his mind, I probably would have looked into breeding him. But that never happened, unfortunately. I don't think there's time, which is a shame, because I would have loved to have had some. I would have loved to have had some of his offspring. That would have been amazing. So yeah, this is Gex. And we'll try and give regular updates to this guy as often as I can. He doesn't do a lot. Feeding isn't very exciting because of how I do it, but it's still nice to include him into my videos every now and again. You can see as well he's still got his original tail, so really happy with that. And obviously what comes after for him, I don't know. I know a guy that I need to respond to desperately from the Proclotheria video, but I have a friend who's a taxidermist, so I don't know whether that would be something that I might do. So I'm going to put him back. There you go. I do put water in his enclosure, but he doesn't actually drink. I have to give him water the same way that I do with feeding him. However, that is very difficult because he's not a fan of it, which is kind of understandable. So yeah, 20 years old. It looks like he wants to come back out again. What are you doing? Gex. Hey. Okay. Sometimes I like to just sort of come and sit with him and just chill with him, I guess, like this. Kind of talk to him and whilst I'm feeding him and things. I know he has no idea what I'm saying or anything, but I enjoy it, I guess. So yeah, for anyone that's new to my channel and has never seen Gex, this is him. This is the best leopard gecko in the world, at least for me anyway. And hopefully the other one didn't hear me say that, because she'll be really angry with me.